In this video, you will have the opportunity to take a TOEFL reading practice test. You will see a passage and questions. After you finish the test, I will show you how to find the correct answers quickly. Now, grab some paper and a pen so you can write down your answers and compare them with the correct answers I will show you afterwards. If you're going to take your TOEFL soon, check out my TOEFL materials. There, I teach you everything you need to score high. I show you step by step how to give high-scoring answers. And of course, we do many practice tests together, so you will feel confident for your test. You can find the link to the TOEFL materials in the description box. And now, let's get started. By the way, if you want more TOEFL reading practice tests, hit the like button and write yes in the comments. If you want something else, tell me your video wish in the comments so I know what you would like to see on this channel. Now, let's continue solving this test. Now I will show you how to find the correct answers fast. We go directly to the first question. What does it say? Which of the following sentences is closest in meaning to this sentence from paragraph 1? Despite recent criticism of Ireland's speed in achieving the EU's goal of 0% carbon emissions by 2030, Ireland has indeed become a major player in reducing climate change. So let's quickly think about what this sentence tells us. The sentence says that Ireland's speed in achieving a certain goal, namely the EU's goal of 0% carbon emissions, has been criticized here. But Ireland has nevertheless become a major player in reducing climate change. Now, let's take a look at the answer choices. A says Ireland is now equal with other EU countries in terms of achieving sustainable goals. The sentence you can see here doesn't say that Ireland is now equal with other EU countries in terms of achieving sustainable goal. It doesn't mention other EU countries. There is nothing in the sentence about that. So A is incorrect. B, as expected by its EU partners, Ireland is becoming an important country in the battle against climate change. Now, the sentence does say that Ireland has become a major player in reducing climate change. So you could say it's an important country in the battle against climate change, but the sentence doesn't talk about what other EU partners expected. So as expected by its EU partners is not in the sentence. So B is out as well. C, Ireland is making significant efforts to fight climate change, even though it was criticized for not reaching goals quickly in the past. This is interesting because here it says that Ireland is making significant efforts to fight climate change. And this is what the sentence says. It says that Ireland has become a major player in reducing climate change. And the sentence says, even though it was criticized for not reaching goals quickly in the past, the sentence says that Ireland's speed in achieving the EU's goal has been criticized. So Ireland has been criticized for not reaching goals quickly, but nevertheless, it's a major player in reducing climate change. So this sentence is very close in meaning to this sentence here. Now, before we choose C, let's quickly have a look at D to see whether we can definitely rule out D. Even though Ireland criticized the EU for its speed in reaching sustainable goals, it has become an important country in the fight against climate change. Now, here you can see this part is indeed expressed in the sentence above, that it has become an important country or a major player in reducing climate change. But this sentence here before is wrong because it mixes up the information from the statement given above. The sentence doesn't say that Ireland has criticized the EU for its speed in reaching sustainable goals. The sentence says that Ireland's speed has been criticized. Ireland's speed in achieving the EU's goal. So here you can see that the information is totally mixed up. So D is incorrect. And this means that C is the correct answer. We continue with question number 2. The word "its" in paragraph 1, line 4 refers to. Let's take a look at paragraph 1. What is paragraph 1 talking about and where can we find the word? Here it says, in terms of its financial investment into environmental goals, nearly 42% of Ireland's 989 million euros recovery and resilience plan for dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic crisis will be spent to support climate investments and reforms. Now, what does "its" refer to? In order to know that, we need to read the sentence before. What does it say? The Irish government has been active in rolling out a budget to make Ireland more sustainable in various industries and domains. And then the next sentence says, in terms of its financial investment into environmental goals. So "its" refers to The Irish government. The Irish government has invested into environmental goals. Let's take a look at the answer choices. Here, answer choice A says the Irish government. This is the correct answer. We continue with question number 3. What can be inferred from paragraph 2? And then we have several answer choices. Now, let's take a look at paragraph 2 and let's see what paragraph 2 is talking about. What we can infer from paragraph 2. The majority of climate change progress has been made in the sectors of energy, agriculture, construction, transport, and education. Then the passage continues saying that there has been a wind energy report form. This was the wrong pen, I'm sorry. Annual wind energy report form, and says that 34% of Ireland's electricity was derived from aeolian energy. And then it continues to give some numbers. And in the end, it says that there are wind farms in the west of Ireland, and as well as the first offshore wind farm in Arklow called the Arklow Bank Wind Park. And it says it's 10 kilometers out to the sea and will expand in the future. So this seems to be about wind energy. Let's take a look at the answer choices. What do they say? A. Wind energy supplies the majority of electricity in Ireland. Does the paragraph say that? Does it say that wind energy supplies the majority of electricity in Ireland? We read about wind energy here, and the report says that 34% of Ireland's electricity was derived from aeolian energy. But it doesn't say that wind energy is, what does it say here? Is that wind energy supplies the majority of electricity in Ireland. There is nothing about the majority. In fact, the passage tells us that it's 34%. 34% of Ireland's electricity was derived from aeolian energy. And there are no more numbers given. So A is incorrect. We can rule out A. B. Wind energy is easy to generate thanks to the Irish weather and landscape. Does the paragraph say anything about how easy it is to generate wind energy? I can't see anything here. The paragraph does say that there are a few wind farms. So maybe the weather in Ireland makes it easy to generate wind energy, but the paragraph actually doesn't say that. And so we cannot infer that. That would be too far-fetched. So this means that B is out as well, because the paragraph doesn't say anything about that. C. Offshore wind farms are more efficient than onshore wind farms. Does the paragraph make a difference between offshore and onshore? Can we find the words here? I can see the word offshore here, and here it says it is 10 kilometers out to sea and will expand in the future, but it doesn't compare, the paragraph doesn't compare onshore and offshore wind farms. So this answer choice is out as well. D. There has been recent investment into the development of wind energy in Ireland. This seems interesting, right? Because the paragraph says that new wind farms have generated 280 megawatts of wind energy. And then it mentions that there are wind farms in the west of Ireland and Dublin County and so on. There's the first offshore wind farm in Arklow. And if you have a closer look at this answer choice, this shows us that there has been recent investment into the development of wind energy in Ireland. The paragraph doesn't mention the words recent investment, but the question asks you what can be inferred from paragraph 2. And the paragraph says that there are many wind farms and they generate a significant amount of wind energy for Ireland. And so you can infer that there has been recent investment into the development of wind energy in Ireland. So D is the correct answer. We move on to question number 4. Which of the following is not mentioned in paragraph 3? This word is super important. Don't overlook this. You must choose the answer choice that is not mentioned in paragraph 3. This means that 3 of these answer choices will be mentioned in the paragraph. A says Ireland has made significant progress in sustainable farming, particularly as agriculture is its principal industry. Does the paragraph tell us that Ireland has made significant progress in sustainable farming, and is agriculture its principal industry? We are looking for this in paragraph 3. Paragraph 3 says, as a highly agricultural nation, Ireland has made leaps and bounds in developing environmentally friendly farming practices. And then the paragraph mentions an article from the Irish Times saying that Irish farmers are now embracing PAE, which means precision application equipment, at a nationwide level. This seems to be a new technology that helps farmers to control the amount of pesticides sprayed on the land, and in this way pesticides are being used much less, thanks to the innovation of these farmers. Now, let's take a look at answer choice A. The paragraph says nothing about that Ireland has made significant progress in sustainable farming, as agriculture is its principal industry. The paragraph does say that there are environmentally friendly farming practices because they now control the amount of pesticides, so they use less pesticides. But there is nothing in the paragraph that agriculture is Ireland's principal industry. This is not mentioned. So A seems to be correct. But before we choose A, let's quickly have a look at the other answer choices to make sure that we can rule them out. B. New technology has allowed farmers to reduce the amount of chemicals used in agriculture. The text mentions that new technology helps farmers to control the amount of pesticides sprayed on the land. This is what you can see here, right? So this is about new technology that helps them reduce the amount of pesticides. And pesticides are chemicals, so B is mentioned, so we can rule out B. PAE is a pesticide controlling technology. This is also mentioned in the paragraph here because this is what the technology is called, right? This is explained here. So also this is mentioned in paragraph 3. And D, new technology is used by farmers all over the country. This is what the paragraph tells us, right? Because here it says Irish farmers are now embracing PAE, which suggests that Irish farmers in general, so all over the country, are using it. So this means that we can rule out D. So now we know for sure that A is correct. We can move on. Question number 5. Why does the writer refer to CITA, Construction IT Alliance, in paragraph 4? So we're looking for CITA. This is a keyword because it's an abbreviation, and if the passage mentions it, which is likely, you will find this word exactly like that in the passage. And also we know that we have to check out paragraph 4. So we want to know why the writer refers to CITA in paragraph 4. Let's take a look. What does paragraph 4 talk about? Here I can see CITA. Let's take a closer look at this sentence. A study from CITA, Construction IT Alliance, in 2019 stated that Ireland is using BIM technology to create sustainable, energy-efficient houses. So there is a study, and CITA seems to be the author of the study. And this study states that Ireland uses a specific technology here to create sustainable, energy-efficient houses at the same rate as other countries in the EU and the USA. What does the question ask us to do? Why does the writer refer to CITA? Why does the writer talk about CITA? Let's take a look at the answer choices. To explain that Ireland is one of the most successful countries in developing sustainable houses. Does the paragraph refer to Ireland as being one of the most successful? Let's quickly take a look at the other sentences before. Here, maybe it's interesting to know what BIM refers to. Here it says, Irish construction industries are now at the forefront of reducing climate change by using BIM, building information modeling, and mixed reality technology. This innovative software allows urban designers and architects to design and plan projects prior to construction. And then comes the study from CITA, and here it says, The study states that Ireland is using BIM technology to create sustainable energy efficient houses at the same rate as other countries in the EU and the USA. At the same rate means similar to. They are similar to other countries in that regard. So the writer doesn't say that Ireland is one of the most successful countries, so A is out. B, to offer evidence that Ireland is equal with other EU countries in sustainable construction. This seems interesting, right? This is what we just read. The paragraph says that Ireland is using BIM technology to create sustainable energy efficient houses at the same rate as other countries in the EU. So this is what the writer does. He offers evidence that Ireland is equal with other EU countries in sustainable construction by referring to the study created by the CITA. So B seems correct. Let's quickly have a look at C and D to make sure that we can rule them out. To give an example of a company that is using BIM technology, there is no example, this is out, to illustrate the importance of sustainable construction. This is not why the writer refers to the study. The writer refers to the study to offer evidence. So B is correct. We move on to question number 6. The expression at the forefront in paragraph 4, line 3 means. Let's take a look at this expression in paragraph 4. Where can we find it? Here it says, at the forefront. Irish construction industries are now at the forefront of reducing climate change by using BIM, building information modeling, and mixed reality technology. Let's take a look at the answer choices. We know the context, we know where the sentence is, we have seen the words around this phrase, so now let's figure out what this expression means. At the beginning, does this make sense? Does it make sense to say that Irish construction industries are now at the beginning of reducing climate change? This seems incorrect. B, in an important position. This seems interesting, right? The expression at the forefront means to be at the cutting edge or the innovative stage of doing something. It does not mean to be at the beginning or start of something, or to be in the middle or the front of something. So this doesn't make any sense here. So what it means is that Ireland is in an important position. Where's the word here? Irish construction industries are now in an important position of reducing climate change. They are at the forefront of reducing climate change. And this means that B is the correct answer. Let's move on with question number 7. According to paragraph 5, what are the main advancements in green Irish transport? Let's look for the main advancements in green Irish transport. What is paragraph 5 talking about? The paragraph says that the government has invested into sustainable transport and 164 million euros will be spent on a transition to green infrastructure. So here the word green is mentioned, that we have seen in the question. And what are the main points here? Here it says, the development of a new commuter rail in County Cork. And then it continues saying, in relation to sustainable cars, hybrid and electric vehicles now make up 41% of the automotive market in Ireland. And it continues saying there was a 37.5% increase in the registration of electric and hybrid cars between February and March in 2023. And while it is true that the development of electric cars still faces challenges, these vehicles generate a much lower amount of carbon emissions compared to petrol vehicles. Now let's take a look at the question again. What does it say? What are the main advancements in green Irish transport? The increase in funding for both the railway and electric cars. Does the paragraph mention funding for both the railway and electric cars? The paragraph talks about investment, but the investment only refers to the new commuter rail. It doesn't talk about funding of electric cars. Electric cars and hybrid vehicles are mentioned here, but there is nothing about funding in this regard. So we can rule out this answer choice. A is out. B says the future creation of a train service and increasing numbers of sustainable vehicles. And this is what the passage says here, right? The passage talks about the development of a new commuter rail, and it talks about hybrid and electric vehicles. So this is paraphrasing. It talks about the train service and an increasing number of sustainable vehicles. It doesn't talk about an increase in awareness of electric and hybrid vehicles, and it also doesn't talk about better access to trains and electric and hybrid cars. So C and D are out, B is the correct answer. We continue with question number 8. According to paragraph 6, what is the importance of the article in the Irish Times? Now, let's take a look at paragraph 6, and we're looking for the Irish Times. This is an excellent keyword. This should help us find the information really fast. Here it is. So, what is it talking about? An article from the Irish Times published in January 2025 stated that more than 1,000 schools in Ireland are now part of a sustainability network encouraging the youth of today to become future leaders in climate change projects, both in Europe and worldwide. So, what does the question ask us to do? What is the importance of the article in the Irish Times? Let's quickly have a look again at the paragraph. Does it talk about the importance? Here it says, Ireland's education system has been instrumental in teaching young people across the country about the importance of sustainability. And then an article from the Irish Times stated that many schools are now part of a sustainability network and encourages the youth of today to become future leaders in climate change projects. So what is the importance of the article? A, it described how schools are helping young people to become more sustainable. The paragraph doesn't say that the article describes how schools are helping young people to become more sustainable, so this answer choice is out. The article listed the schools involved in a network of young leaders for sustainability. There is nothing about a list there, so B is out as well. C, it was instrumental in inspiring young people to learn about sustainability. The article doesn't discuss young people learning about sustainability, so this is out as well. And here D, it provided information regarding the role of education in sustainability. This is what the article is about, right? The paragraph says that the article from the Irish Times stated that a lot of schools are now part of a sustainability network encouraging the youth of today to become future leaders in climate change projects. So D is the correct answer. Amazing. We move on to question number 9. Look at the part of the passage displayed below with the letters A, B, C, and D. Where would the following sentence best fit? And the sentence says, with such technologies, this is super important because with such technologies, if you read this, you can see that such must refer to something. So there needs to be a sentence before that talking about a specific type of technologies, because otherwise with such technologies can't refer to anything. So this gives you an important clue about what you need to look for. Experts in construction can reduce the use of cement made with clinker, a dangerous element to the atmosphere. Now let's take a look at this part of the passage. The Irish government, so as you can see here it says A, and you already know that it makes absolutely no sense to insert the sentence here, because what should with such technologies refer to? There is nothing, no sentence talking about any kind of technologies. So A is out. We can eliminate A. Let's continue. Here we can see B. Does the sentence before that talk about any kinds of technologies? The Irish government, along with a group of invested companies, has established a budget of 155 million euros for sustainable architecture and construction. There is nothing about technologies here, so B is out as well. Whoop, that was the wrong place. Let's continue reading. Irish construction industries are now at the forefront of reducing climate change by using BIM, Building Information Modeling and Mixed Reality Technology. Here, this sentence talks about technologies. So if you insert the sentence here, it says, with such technologies, experts in construction can now reduce the use of cement made with clinker, a dangerous element, to the atmosphere. So C is the correct answer. And we can quickly have a look at D. If you have a look at this sentence that comes after C and before D, you can see that it doesn't talk about technologies at all. It says this innovative software allows urban designers and architects to design and plan projects prior to construction. So it doesn't make any sense to insert the sentence here, because with such technologies wouldn't refer to anything. So D is out as well, so we choose C. Amazing. Finally, let's take a look at question number 10. An introductory sentence for a brief summary of the passage is provided below. You can see this sentence here. Complete the summary by selecting 3 answer choices that express the most important ideas in the passage. This is super important. We are looking for the most important ideas. Well, we are not looking for minor ideas, minor details mentioned in the passage. Some sentences do not belong in the summary because they express ideas that are not presented in the passage or are minor ideas in the passage. This is what I was talking about. Don't choose minor ideas. Many students get this wrong because they find a detail that is mentioned in the passage and then they choose it as part of their summary because they think, because it's mentioned in the passage, it's the correct answer. But you must look for major ideas, the most important ideas, not minor ideas. Write your answer choices in the spaces where they belong. This question is worth 2 points. And here we have the introductory sentence. Ireland is making waves in the battle against climate change. Now, let's take a look at the answer choices and let's pick the most important ideas. A says, Ireland is making major investments in climate change in recent years. Now, if you remember the passage, in paragraph 2, there is a lot about wind energy and Ireland investing in wind farms here. And if you have a look at paragraph 1 says that the Irish government wants to make Ireland more sustainable in various industries and domains. And also here, a financial investment into environmental goals is mentioned. So this is stated in the passage and it's an important idea of the passage. 2 paragraphs talk about that. So it's definitely a major idea. So I'm going to write down A here. A is a major idea of the passage. Let's continue with B. The Irish government is investing in sustainable agriculture, construction, transport, and energy. Can we find this in the passage? We read about investments, right? So let's look whether the passage talks about agriculture, construction, transport, energy, and so on. So in the first paragraph, you could see investment in environmental goals. Second paragraph talked about investment into wind farms. And here it also says the majority of climate change progress has been made in the sectors of energy, agriculture, construction, transport, and education. Paragraph 3 talks about a new technology that allows farmers to use less pesticides. So environmentally friendly farming practices. Then here, paragraph 4 talks about a budget of 155 million for sustainable architecture and construction. Paragraph 5 talks about the government's investment into sustainable transport. So you can see that this is definitely a major idea that goes through almost all paragraphs, that there is a significant investment in sustainable agriculture, construction, transport, and energy. So B is an important point. We choose B for our summary. Let's continue with C. There has been innovation in technology and wind farms. This is definitely mentioned in the passage. You may remember that in paragraph 2, we just had a look at that. This was about wind farms. And here, paragraph 4 was about technology, investment in technology and innovation. But are these extremely important ideas of the passage? Are these major ideas compared to points such as A and B? No, C is correct. It's correct in the sense that this is a detail mentioned in the passage, but it's not a major point of the passage. So we don't choose it for our summary. D, there has been an increase in the use of electric and hybrid cars in Ireland. This is also mentioned in the passage, right? Let's quickly take a look. Which paragraph was talking about that here? It was this paragraph about transport. It mentioned hybrid and electric vehicles. And here we have the same situation. This is mentioned in the passage, but it's not a major point of the passage. What about E? Education is a crucial area for the future of sustainability in Ireland. This is an important point, right? The last paragraph was talking about education, and the youth of today should become future leaders in climate change projects, both in Europe and worldwide. So this is an important point because it gives an outlook of how Ireland is going to create more sustainability in the future. So this is also an important point of the passage. So we choose E for our summary. And this means that we are done with question number 10. And so we have solved this TOEFL reading practice test. Amazing, great job. I hope you liked this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell icon so you're notified when the next video comes out. Also, share this video with your friends so they can improve their TOEFL score too. See you in the next video.